All right. So I'm back. I don't know if I was really gone, but I wanted to talk about I'm going to like focus on a little bit more. I don't know if it's really obscure indie rock, but I um I was going to do a video either on Lamb Chop or Plush, but my idea last night was to do the video on Plush. So, I'm going to do that. Though I did wake up today, and even though it's March and terrible things are happening all around me, because like that's March for you. Um, I woke up and I put on Nixon by Lamb Chop, and it was like a really, for a moment, it was a really great listening experience. Um, I like when you can put on an album. I like actually a lot of like very relaxing, soothing, groovy kind of music, and and that album Nixon by Lamb Chop, that was really it today. But for some reason, I felt like I would do the little bit more. I kind of figure also I would maybe have a harder time talking about Lamb Chop. I'd have to like think about it a little bit more. Whereas with Plush, I can kind of do this sort of quickly because we have to do things quickly. Under 10 minutes, man. That's the goal. So, I the main person uh behind Plush is Liam Hayes. And Liam Hayes is out of the Chicago scene where, like Jesus Lizard was, Steve Albini, um, Tortoise, a lot of that post rock stuff um, that I think I mentioned in my Rock Snobs video. A lot of that was in that was going on Chicago. Chicago's a very rich musical scene. The chamber strings were there. You know what I'm going to do to try to get more engagement on this video? I'm going to list this as like, well, I not if I don't put Andy Edwards in the title, no one's going to watch the video, right? Isn't that what I have to do? Put Andy Edwards in the video title, and then I'll get, as opposed to 15 views, I'll get 200 views. I owe my whole YouTubing career to Andy Edwards. I I really do. Although Rick Beato was the one that commented. So where were we? Rock snobs. This is a rock snob record store record store employee band. But Liam Hayes was in that scene, and I remember I got into Palace Brothers and Bonnie Prince Billy and Will Oldham's deal late, and then Liam Hayes, he played on some of those early albums, not the really early, but he played on like uh, Viva Last, or what's the one with the cat on the cover? He played on some stuff. I think he engineered on that, and he's like a Brian Wilson musician, composer, songwriter guy, and I remember, so it's that album that he did. It's got New Partner on it, and it's a really good record. I want to say it's like Viva Last Blues. I don't know, but so he worked on that. He was just doing work in that scene, and so he's associated with. I think Ninja Tune is there because I think they're associated with the post rock stuff. But I also know Drake City's really big out of Chicago. And so he was associated with that. And he released an album I don't have, and it's called More Becomes You. It was recorded between 94 and 98. And it was a thing where I think he was maybe working on it in different sort of formats or whatever, different arrangements for songs. And then he finally just like bit the bullet and realized he was going to have to track it all just himself with the piano. And he did it. I might have had that album at one point, but it wasn't super engaging for me, so it didn't stay in the collection. Right? The next thing though was around 2002, this album got released. It's called Fed, right? Plush Fed. It's been reissued. It was released on a Japanese label in 2002. In 2008, it was re-released Look, I have the these liner notes in the original VCR handbook language, right? So this album you heard about, and the big story was that it took him a long time to do it, and he started out working with, I can't remember who. Then it switched to Steve Albini, and then it went to John McIntyre, who's from Tortoise. Okay, and he, as opposed to with more you becomes you, or more, yeah, whatever, he now realized that he had to go full on in the instrumentation and orchestration for this thing. So he did. And Drag City, I guess, when they saw how long it was taking and how arduous the process was, they pulled out. And then and it says on, I think I looked at an article from Pitchfork before I started this video. It says he spent up to 6 figures of his own money getting it finished. And so this thing was, people were talking about this album and how difficult it was to find, and it was just released and obscure at the same time because it was only coming out on this Japanese label. And I ended up ordering it on eBay back when you had to do like the bidding war for something. And 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 so, but the thing is, you do the bidding war and then you lose, and then the guy who's a seller is like, hey man, I'll sell it to you for like $30 or $25 or whatever. I'm like, okay, cool. And I did. And I was really blown away by it, you know? And it's got like a vibe. It's got a very orchestrated vibe. Liam's vocals are a little bit more subdued. He doesn't have a higher voice, he has a lower kind of voice. It's a very smooth orchestral pop album. And if you can check it out, I mean, since it's been re-released now, it is cheaper. But there's a song on here called Greyhound Bus Station. That's kind of the standout track. But I listened to it last night because I just had the hankering to listen to it. And it's really great all the way through. And I remember when I was living in Pasadena and I was going to Cal State LA, and I would like take the train, or I was taking the bus to school, and I'd listen to CDs on my CD player. And I think the CDs I listened to the most were The Great Annihilator by Swans and this one. It has a really great traveling mood to it. Okay. So after that, he did Bright Penny. And this is from 2009. This, in a sense, I think, because Pitchfork was kind of dismissive of Fed, but I think that this one, as a more upbeat sort of pop album, carries the promise of Liam Hayes as a songwriter or arranger, everything all the way through. It's a indelibly classic album. It's great. Okay, like these are some of these albums too, I want to say, is like they have a certain greatness where you don't think about the songs when you're listening to them. You just think of the album as this complete work. Is that like Gestalt? You think of it as this complete work that you just take in all at once. Yeah, you could parse them out to make different playlists or whatever, but for the most part, you're like, yeah, I just throw this on and like, this is awesome, right? So this is kind of the standout. I'm going to say both of these albums are like 5-star albums, but if this is even more of a 5-star album than this, then it is. And then the latest one was Slurp, and I think he did this under his own name, and he indulges in a little bit more. He's even referencing Brian Wilson and stuff on this, but it sounds like more of a band sound. And there's a really great song on here. It's Gonna Be a Long Day, Baby, to Get You to the Night. Effing spectacular. Really great song. A very good album. Not as good as the other two, but it's top notch. So if you get a chance, go check out Liam Hayes and Plush. Like and subscribe. Listen to Happy Casualties. Almost 10 minutes. Little under.